I'm Cath. Welcome to my channel made by Cath Craft. Thank you so much for joining me today for my latest video, and I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm going to be talking in this video about some of my top 3 sewing pattern picks, and I'm also going to be showing some fabrics for my stash. I've got a little pile next to me here that I might use to sew those 3 sewing patterns, and I'm doing that as part of the Sew Frugal challenge, which is running at the moment on YouTube and Instagram. I'm sure you've seen all about it already. It's being run by Roanne, who's the Yorkshire Sew Girl, and Sam, who's Frugalissima. I'll link both of their channels below. And there's a whole schedule of vloggers joining in with this challenge, and people have been sharing their Sew Frugal plans over the last few weeks, and I think the videos are running right up until the end of March, which is the reveal date. So I'll include as well below a link to the schedule of vloggers so you can see who's been on, and you can check out any vlogs you might have missed. But it's a really fun challenge and I'm really glad to be getting involved in it. So I thought I'd start this video by just summarising the rules of the challenge, so apologies if you've heard these rules before, but I thought it'd be a good place to start. The Sew Frugal challenge is basically, the first rule is to sew a free sewing pattern, and it has to be a free sewing pattern that's readily available to anybody. The second rule is to sew it using a fabric you already have that's in your stash. The third rule is to sew up a garment in the month of March, and it has to be a garment of some sort. It doesn't have to be for yourself. It can be women's wear, children's wear, men's wear, anything like that. And the final rule is to reveal your garment on Instagram by sharing a photo on the 31st of March and using the hashtag SewFrugal22. And if you join in, you don't have to be a vlogger, you can be anybody. All you have to do is post that photo on the 31st of March. If you join in, you'll then be entered into a prize draw, and I think winners will be picked at random, which is really nice so everyone has an equal chance. But there are loads of really cool prizes available, and I think it's a really fun challenge to join in with anyway, because there are so many amazing free patterns out there. It's really fun to give them a try, and I think it's great to use what we have as well, rather than always buying new fabric. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to joining in. And this is my second year of joining in actually. Last year I joined in when it was Frugal frocks, and it's now been widened from frocks to any garment. And I had a lot of fun. For my last year's entry I decided to hack a free top pattern into a dress. And I made a jersey dress, quite a summery one. And the pattern I used to hack was the Largo Tank by Itch to Stitch. So I thought I'd include a link to my last year's Sew Frugal reveal video, in case you fancy checking that out and seeing a bit more about my last year's hack. But it was so much fun, I was really keen to get involved again this year. So now I've talked a bit about the overview of the challenge, I'll move on to my top 3 pattern picks and also my fabrics I've got sitting here that I might like to use. So this year's Sew Frugal challenge is going to be extra challenging for me because I really don't have a very big fabric stash. I don't like to have too many fabrics sitting around uncut because I find it a little bit overwhelming, and I have been trying to reduce my stash down even more recently. So I had a little look ahead of this challenge at what I've got in my stash, and I found I have 10 pieces of uncut fabric. And when I had a look at them, I had fairly firm plans for each of those fabrics, so they weren't really available for me to use for the Sew Frugal challenge. But I really wanted to join in with the challenge still, so what I've decided to do for my this year's entry for the Sew Frugal challenge is try to make a garment using some of my fabric remnants. And I have got a few pieces of larger fabric remnants left over from other projects that I've got to share that I think will work great for this challenge. I have been trying to reduce my fabric remnants down as well. Recently I had a suitcase of them and I brought them all down from the loft and had a look through, and with the jersey fabrics, for the smaller remnants, I've been making some knickers for me and my daughter, and I've really enjoyed giving them a go. And with the smaller woven remnants, I really enjoy using them for things like pocket bags and making bias binding. But as I mentioned, there are a few larger remnants that I think will work really well for this challenge, so I've got them here to share. I'm going to talk about the jersey remnants first and some of my top 3 jersey sewing pattern picks for them that I might like to make, and then I'll talk about the woven fabrics and my top 3 woven sewing pattern picks after that. So in terms of the jersey remnants I've got a few decent sized pieces of cotton jersey. And when I had a look at them, what popped into my mind that I thought might be quite fun to do was to make a colour blocked jersey dress. And I quite like the idea of making one for myself and one for my daughter, because there are some fabrics I think that will work better for me and some that will work better for her. And I thought by colour blocking there'll be enough fabric then to make a dress. I wasn't sure if any of these fabrics I would have enough of to make a full dress in the one fabric. So that is my idea for the jersey fabric remnants I've got left. and I've got a few patterns that I think might be nice to use. So what I thought I'd do is share the jersey remnants first and what I originally made with them, and then share the free patterns I might like to use to turn them into colour block dresses for each of us. So the first fabric is this lovely cotton jersey. It's quite cute with this stripe on it and also these hearts going through it. And I originally used this fabric to make a cocoa dress by tilling the buttons for me, and I'll put a picture up of that one if I can find it. And it's a dress I really enjoy making, and I don't know how I ended up with so much fabric left over on this one. The fabric came from an online shop that's unfortunately closed down now, but any of the fabrics that I do show where I think they are still available, I will try and link them down below. So that's the first fabric, and I thought that'd be quite cute as a top for a colour blocked dress. The next fabric's a really fun one. It is this rainbow stripe cotton jersey fabric. Here it is. It's really lovely, pretty colours. And this one I originally used to make a Tilling the Buttons Agnes top for me. And again, I'll put a picture up if I have got a picture of that to hand. It's a really pretty fabric, really nice quality jersey. I have worn that top a lot and washed it a lot, and it's still, the colours are really vivid. I think this was one of my earlier makes, which is why I ended up with a decent amount of leftover fabric. I think I might have over-ordered to make sure I could stripe match, and I was a bit on the cautious side when I ordered. So I've got a decent amount of that, and I thought that'd be a really cute one for a colour block dress for my daughter. The next one is quite a simple fabric that would work quite well, I think, together with a pattern for a colour block dress, which is this plain blue, quite a pretty royal blue coloured fabric. This is a cotton jersey I got from Minerva, and I originally use this to make a bedtime sort of tank top for myself, and I think for that one I used the Keeler tank by Ali Olsen patterns, which is actually quite similar to the Largo tank by Itch to Stitch, the free pattern I mentioned earlier that I used for my Frugal frocks make last year. So that's the next one. And the next one is this really pretty, I think it's called Galaxy jersey. It's a really nice quality cotton jersey, and I got this one just before Christmas from Lamazi Fabrics. I'm not sure if it's still in stock, but again, if it is, I'll link it down below. It's a really lovely one, and what I like about it is it's got it's yarn dyed, so it's navy on both sides, so when you stretch you don't get any white showing through. It's got this really pretty sort of galaxy pink and white speckle print on, and I use this to make a Freya top from the stretch book by Tilling the Buttons for my mum for Christmas. I'm not sure I have a picture of that one, but she's worn it a lot. I think she likes it, so that's good. But I've got a decent amount left because for my mum I have to order, I think, 2 meters. I can't quite squeeze her top into 1.5 meters because she likes extra long with extra long arms. So whenever I make her a Freya top, I always end up with a decent amount of fabric left over. So I thought that'd be a nice one for collar blocking too. The next one is a really lovely fabric. It is a cotton jersey again with a dragonfly print on, a kind of geometric dragonfly print on. And I used this originally to make a Freya dress for myself, and I will put that one up because I'm sure I've got a picture of that one. And I love that dress and I really enjoy wearing it. And I think it's such a pretty fabric, and I like navy, so I quite like the idea of using this one to make a colour block dress for me, because it's a fabric I really like. This fabric came from Sunnyside UK Fabrics, I think, and again, I'll link their website down below. I think I got the last bit of this fabric that was left over, so I'm not sure it's in stock still, but I thought that'd be a fun one again for matching with all the other navy colours to colour block a dress for me. And the final fabric I've got is another one that I used to make a Freya top, and this time it was a Freya top for me. It's another rainbow striped jersey actually, but this one's got a bit of navy in between the rainbow stripes. It's a really pretty one, a lovely soft cotton jersey. I got this one from Hey Sew Sister, and I don't know how I ended up with so much of this one left, but again, I thought it'd be quite fun paired with one of the other fabrics I've shown to make a colour block dress. So those are my jersey remnants that I might use for a colour block dress for me and my daughter. I haven't quite decided which ones I'm going to pair together with which, but hopefully that'll be a nice surprise if I do make a jersey dress when I reveal it on the 31st of March. And I am planning on doing a So Frugal reveal video, which I'll either release probably on the 31st of March or in the weekend after, where I do talk through what fabrics I decided to go for and what patterns I use and that sort of thing. So yeah, there'll be more details there about what I finally decided to get up to for my So Frugal plans. So in terms of free patterns I would like to use to make those colour blocked jersey dresses, firstly for my daughter I would like to hack a free children's jersey t-shirt pattern to turn it into a little dress with a gathered skirt, because I think that would be really cute. And the pattern I would like to use is the ABB Kids Tee, which stands for anything but basic kids tee, I think, and that is by DIBY Club. And I'll link that free pattern down below, and I'll link all of the free patterns I mentioned in this video down below. It's a pattern I've used before for both my daughter and my son, and I find it's a really nice little sew. It's a basic t-shirt pattern. It comes in ages 18 months to 12 years, so quite a good age range. And there's a few different variations. They have a slim fit and a regular fit option. You can add a little patch pocket, but it's quite a simple shape overall, so I think it will lend itself really well to hacking into a little dress. And I thought I'd mention, and while I'm talking about that pattern, there is also a ladies ABB t-shirt available too. And that one has a really good size range. It goes from a 00, which is for bust of 31 inches, up to a size 36, which has a bust of 63 inches. And again, like the kids ABB tee, it's free, so I'll link that one down below too. And for me, for a potential colour blocked jersey dress, I also like the idea of hacking a t-shirt pattern into a dress, just like for my daughter. And I've got a couple of different options of t-shirts I might like to try for my jersey dress. The first one is the women's ABB t-shirt. I've tried the kids version a few times before, but I've never tried the women's version. And like I mentioned, it has a really good size range, but it also has 3 neckline options and 3 different sleeve options too. So I think it'd be a lot of fun figuring out which of those to mix and match to turn into a jersey dress. The second free t-shirt pattern that I like the idea of turning into a jersey dress for me is one I've made before, and it is the Stellantis by French Navy. And it's quite easy to download. It's just available on their website, and I'll link that down below as well. But it's a really nice t-shirt. I'll put a picture up so you can see. It's quite a boxy fit t-shirt with slightly dropped shoulders, and you can add a little turn up on the sleeves, which I like. It's a nice sew. I've really enjoyed sewing that one before, and I think it would make a cute jersey dress if you added on a skirt. The only downside of that pattern is it hasn't got the biggest size range, certainly not as big as the women's ABB tee. It goes up to a bust of 42 inches. But that is my second option, the Stellantis by French Navy. The third free women's t-shirt pattern that I like the idea of turning into a dress is another pattern I've made before but I've never hacked. And it is the Kirsten Kimono Tee by Maria Denmark. And it's available to download for free if you sign up to the Maria Denmark newsletter. But I'll put a picture up of that t-shirt too so you can see what it looks like. It's got a slightly more fitted silhouette than the women's ABB tee or the Stellantis. It's got this boat neck feature, which I think is quite a pretty neckline, and it's got grown on sort of cap sleeves. In terms of sizing, it goes up to a bust of 50 inches. It's a really nice sew, and the pattern includes 2 different ways of finishing the neckline seam, which I think is quite nice that it gives you options, especially since it's a free pattern. But it's another really cute one that I think would make a really nice dress if it was hacked. So those are my 3 options for potential t-shirt patterns I might use to make a colour block jersey dress for me. So I think they're all really good options, and I have to have a little think now about which one I might like to go for and which fabrics I might like to pair it with. So that's my options for my jersey fabric remnants, and now I'll move on to sharing some of my woven fabric remnants and potential free patterns I'd like to use with those remnants. So in terms of woven fabrics that I might like to use for the Sew Frugal challenge, I have 2 remnants of woven fabric to share with you that I think would work really well potentially for this challenge. When I was looking through my fabric remnants, I didn't seem to have as many larger pieces of woven fabric left over as I did jersey for some reason. But I've got 2 options that I think would make really nice garments for the Sew Frugal challenge. And the first one is this really pretty viscose fabric that I got originally from Rainbow Fabrics. I don't think they've got this fabric still in stock, but they often have new pretty viscose fabrics coming through, so I'll link their website down below in case you want to check them out. It's a really lovely fabric with a black base and lots of flowers on it. It does make me think of spring, so it feels like a nice fabric to be sewing with at this time of year. Now the sun's starting to shine, the flowers are starting to bloom. As you can see, it's got lots of really pretty sort of spring colours on it, oranges and yellows and pinks and reds. And I originally bought this fabric with no particular purpose or plans in mind for it, but it was really good value. So I think I bought 3 metres, and I sort of figured that if nothing else, it'll be great for making into a wearable toile where I can give a garment a go, and if it turned out all right, then it was still quite pretty fabric that I'd enjoy wearing. And I've actually made 2 garments out of this fabric already. The first garment I made was a Grainline Studio Scout tee, and I'll put a picture up of that one because I don't have it anymore. I made it for a charity challenge. And then I went on to make a garment for myself, actually a wearable toile, as I sort of thought I might use this fabric. I made the Friday Pattern Co. Wilder gown. I kind of made it in this fabric because I wasn't sure if the Wilder gown pattern would suit me because it's quite an oversized dress pattern. So I thought I'd give it a go in this fabric, and if it turned out okay, then I'd probably enjoy wearing it in this fabric. And I'll put up a picture of how that one turned out. So yeah, I've already made 2 garments out of it, and I've still got a decent amount left, and hopefully enough to squeeze out of it and make for Sew Frugal. It's a really nice drapey viscose, and I think, yeah, it would be a nice one to sew at this time of year. That's my first option. And the second woven fabric remnant that I've got that I might like to use for the Sew Frugal challenge is actually the leftover fabric from the dress I'm wearing today. And I originally used this fabric to make this dress, and this dress is a hack of the Ogden Cami by True Bias. I basically hacked the Ogden cami pattern at about Empire line, just below my bust here, and added on a gathered skirt and turned it into a sort of little pinafore that I quite like to layer over different tops. I'll put a picture up of me wearing it today so you can see how it looks. And the fabric I used for this pinafore is a cotton fabric by Rifle Paper Co. It's quite a substantial cotton fabric. I guess it's probably a quilting weight rather than a cotton lawn weight. And here it is here. This is my remnant piece. It's got this really pretty floral print on. It's called Hawthorn, and the floral print sort of reminds me of sort of woodland type flowers. It's very pretty. And there's a black colourway available, which is the one I've got. But there's also a navy blue colourway available, which is very pretty too. And I got it from Lamazi Fabrics, and I'll link it down below because I think it's still in stock there. But I've got a decent amount of this one available too. And again, with the floral print, it does make me think of spring. So I think it'd be another great option along with the viscose for using for So Frugal. So the free sewing pattern I really like the idea of trying in one of those fabrics is one that I think is going to be really popular for So Frugal. It's quite a new free sewing pattern, and it is the Etty Camisole by Tammy Handmade, and I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like. It actually reminds me a little bit of the Ogden cami by True Bias because it's quite a boxy fit cami with no darts. But instead it's got this pretty scalloped edge detail at the front and then a square back, whereas the Ogden has a sort of deep V at the back. In terms of sizing, it's available from a UK 6, which is a bust of 31 inches, up to a UK 24, which is a bust of 49 inches. And it looks like quite a nice, simple little camisole pattern. And I've made one of Tammy Handmade's patterns before. I made her dressing gown pattern. What's it called? The Hayley robe. And I really enjoyed sewing that. And the great thing about the Etty Camisole, which the Hayley robe did not have, is it has finished garment measurements as well, which I find really useful. So I really like the idea of turning one of these fabrics into the Etty Camisole, and I'm not sure whether I'd make the straight Etty Camisole or whether I'd try some sort of hack. I think I need to go in, have a think about it and figure out how much of each of those fabrics I have left and what I could do with them. But I think something around the Etty Camisole and having a bit of a play with it might be really fun. So those are my top free sewing pattern picks, and also some fabrics, or I guess fabric remnants from my stash that I'd potentially like to use as part of the So Frugal 22 challenge. In terms of patterns, there's a bit of a mix there, I guess. There are some patterns I've used before that I'd maybe like to add a new spin onto. And there's a couple of new patterns too that I might like to give a try. And I'm a bit torn really. I like the idea of a colour block jersey dress using a free t-shirt pattern. But I also really like the idea of giving the Etty Camisole a go and maybe hacking that a bit too. So I'm not sure which option I'm going to go for, or maybe this year I'll end up making more than one garment for this year's So Frugal. We will see, watch this space. But I'll be revealing my garment or garments on the 31st of March on Instagram using the So Frugal 22 hashtag. And I can't wait to see everybody's entries. I think it's going to be such a fun and inspiring day. And then, as I mentioned, I'll also be releasing a video talking all about what I did end up getting up to, and if I did a hack, then how I did the hack and that sort of thing. So I'd love it if you'd tune in for that video too. I'll let you know a bit nearer the time exactly when I'm planning to release that one. If you're getting involved in So Frugal, I hope you're having fun having research for free patterns and choosing fabrics from your stash. I think it's such a fun challenge to be involved in. And yeah, it's going to be so much fun to see everybody's entries on the 31st of March. So thank you very much for tuning in for my So Frugal plans video. I hope you've enjoyed hearing a bit about what I might be planning. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Have a lovely day. Bye.